Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another episode of J Flash Sports Talk. This episode's going to be about the Week 2 previews in the NFL, so let's have at it. Actually, at first, I'd like to say if you guys are going to YouTube, type in J Flash Sports space Justin Check and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Show some love, I'd really appreciate it. Alright, let's have at these games. First up, we got the New York Giants and the Chicago Bears. First, I definitely got to say, I think Saquon Barkley should have a much better outing in this one than his 6 yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers in week number 1. I see him having 85 rushing yards and a total of 2 touchdowns. Could be 1 receiving, 1 rushing. That's what I'm thinking it's going to be, but who knows. I definitely don't think Mitchell Trubisky will have 3 passing touchdowns again like he did a week ago. I see him only having 1 passing touchdown, and David Montgomery will have 2 rushing touchdowns and 100 yards rushing as the Chicago Bears defeat the New York Giants 24-22. That one hurt a little bit because I'm a Giants fan, but business is business. I don't think they're going to win this week. Season is young now. Plenty of games left. Next up, Atlanta Falcons and the Dallas Cowboys. I see this being a shootout. Either team has good defenses, so both offenses should prosper, and it should be one heck of a fantasy football game. I see both running backs, and Todd Gurley and Ezekiel Elliott having over 100 yards rushing and at least 1 rushing touchdown. Ezekiel Elliott may even have 2 or 3. He's that kind of back that can break out for that kind of game. I definitely think Matt Ryan will have over 400 passing yards, and he may even have 3 passing touchdowns, but I see the Dallas Cowboys coming away 38-31, as Dak Prescott is going to have 350 passing yards, 1 rushing touchdown, and at least 2 passing touchdowns. We'll see if I'm right after these games on Tuesday. Next up, we got the Detroit Lions going to Green Bay Packers. What a heck of a game the Packers had in week 1 against the Vikings. Aaron Rodgers throwing for 4 passing touchdowns. However, Adrian Peterson did have 93 rushing yards in their first game against the Bears, but he didn't get in the end zone. And that definitely matters when dealing with the final score. I definitely think the Packers are going to stay undefeated and go 2-0 as they beat the Detroit Lions 34-20. No problem in this one. Green Bay has a way better defense than Detroit, and they should continue their success. Next game, Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to Tennessee Titans. Tennessee's defense, another great defense. I definitely think Derrick Henry, even though he did have 116 rushing yards last week, I think he's going to have a much bigger game this week. He will break the end zone, I believe, at least 3 times, which I'm hopeful because he's my starting running back in my fantasy. So we shall see. I definitely think the Titans will be victorious against the Jaguars by a score of 24-20. It'll be close, but the Titans should come out and go 2-0 to start their season off. Next up, we got the Minnesota Vikings traveling to Indianapolis to face the Colts. I definitely think it's going to be another shootout here, despite 2 solid defenses. I don't know what's going on with the Colts defense lately. Gardner Minshew threw all over him last week as he beat the Colts. The game came down to the last second, but time ran out on them. Well, I definitely don't think that's going to happen this week. I do think the Minnesota Vikings will be 0-2, and the Indianapolis Colts will be 1-1 to start their seasons off by a score of 31 for the Colts and 28 for the Vikings. Dalvin Cook may have 2 to 3 rushing touchdowns, but he's only one man, and that's not going to be enough to beat this solid playoff team. Next up, we got the new look Buffalo Bills traveling to the Miami Dolphins. No problems here by the Buffalo Bills. They should have a really big game, winning by a score of 28-10. And it's only going to be a matter of time before the Miami Dolphins put in that Tua Tagovailoa. I give it week 4, maybe week 5, if they keep losing their games, which they will, probably. I see them losing every single game until their star future rookie quarterback comes in. Can he stay healthy is going to be another issue. Next up, we got the San Francisco 49ers traveling to New York Jets at the Meadowlands. This Le'Veon Bell is going to be out for the season. He may come back in 3 weeks, but that's slim. He is placed on IR, but he does have a chance to come back. The type of injury he has, I don't think he's going to come back. That backfield will be taken over by Frank Gore. I'm very interested to see what he does this week against one of the finer defenses in the league. I don't foresee him scoring a touchdown, or any New York Jet in that matter, as the 49ers and Raheem Mostert, who I do see having a rushing touchdown, and as quick as he is, he might even have 2 or 3 rushing touchdowns. I hope not, because I'm playing against him in my fantasy, but you never know. The 49ers will beat the New York Jets 35-3 in this one. That's my prediction. Next up, we got the Rams going to the Philadelphia Eagles. The story in this one, I think, is going to be what quarterback is going to come out on top. Both quarterbacks struggled dearly last week. They did have very tough defenses that they were going up against, but still. Actually, the Rams did not have a tough defense that they were going up against in the Dallas Cowboys. And neither did the Eagles, actually, as they played Washington. It's just the teams played better against them than they're supposed to. I definitely see the Rams beating the Philadelphia Eagles 20-16. Next up, we got the Denver Broncos and the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, Pittsburgh's defense was really good last week. I think they're one of the best in the league from what we saw. And they should have no problem here. Denver's offense is no match for Big Ben. James Conner is playing. And Juju Smith-Schuster, along with the rest of the Pittsburgh Steelers, as Pittsburgh will win 34-17. Next up, we got the Carolina Panthers traveling to Tampa Bay to face the Bucs. Chris Godwin is out hurt. He won't be suiting up this game. That won't matter. Mike Evans, will have a much better game than he had in week 1. He should have 100 receiving yards and at least 1 receiving touchdown. Tom Brady gets his first win as a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Way to go, Tom. Now to start off the 4 o'clock games, the Washington football team, who is the only team in first place in the NFC East, goes up against the Arizona Cardinals, the new look Cardinals. I definitely don't think the Arizona Cardinals will have a tough time with this football team, as they didn't have a rough time with the defending NFC conference champions, San Francisco 49ers. As I think the Cards will win 28-17. I was very impressed with Dwayne Haskins in week 1. I definitely don't think that's going to be an ongoing thing week to week, but it'll be fun to watch and keep track of. Next up, Baltimore Ravens traveling to Houston Texans. This should be another shootout as well. I don't think the Baltimore Ravens have anything to worry about. Lamar Jackson should have another 3 touchdown pass performance. I'm hoping Mark Ingram comes out of his shadow from week 1 and does something, anything. He is my RB2 in my fantasy matchup, and I desperately need my RB2 in this one. I see the Ravens coming out on top, 38-24. Next up, we got the night game. The New England Patriots and traveling to Seattle to face the Seahawks. I don't think Russell Wilson has anything to worry about here, as the Seahawks should win by a score of 28-10. Cam Newton definitely won't be running the ball like he did in week 1 against the Miami Dolphins. Much tougher defense in Seattle, and I don't think they're going to win in this one. Monday Night Football game, the New Orleans Saints traveling to the first home game for the Las Vegas Raiders. Unfortunately, they're not going to be victorious, as I think the Saints should have no problem defeating the Raiders by a score of 41-21. And that they'd be lucky to score 21 points against the Saints defense. Saints are tough, and I definitely think Alvin Kamara will have a better game than he had in week 1. I see him at least having a touchdown. I see with Michael Thomas being out hurt, I think Emmanuel Sanders will have a pretty big game, along with the Saints tight ends. I think Jared Cook is his name. Each should have a touchdown. Sanders may even have 2, despite depending on what Alvin Kamara's role in the passing game is. All right, that's it, guys. Enjoy another week in the NFL. And I'll talk to you and see you guys after these games.